So quarterback, last year they kept 3. The previous year, they kept 3. This year, they're keeping 3. Purdy, Dobbs, Allen, in whatever order. Obviously, Purdy's 1. But whether you're the Dobbs quarterback 2, which he continues to gain ground, anytime there's live action play and people are being tackled to the ground, Dobbs is going to elevate. Practice, training camp, Allen's going to win that battle most times, at least for the next couple months until Dobbs catches up completely. But Purdy, Dobbs, Allen, all 3 of them are making it. It's just what it is. Shady, like, there's no way he's only going to keep 2. Maybe I'm wrong, and I've been wrong lots of times before. But in my opinion, and in my Kyle Shanahan shoes opinion, he's keeping 3. Tanner Mordecai, I think he's going to be the practice squad guy if we can get him back. Now, running back, this one's a little bit different. Last year, the 49ers kept 5. 2 years ago, 2022, they kept 6. Okay? So I've got the 49ers keeping CMC, obviously, Kyle Juszczyk, Jordan Mason, Elijah Mitchell, and that fifth spot's a little tough. But I think with what Isaac Guerrero, the rookie, showed on that kickoff return, and he looked good running the ball as well, he's making this roster. You traded 2 fifth-round picks for him. You're not going to cut him. He's going to get the opportunity. Plus, he showed, like, I think Isaac Guerrero is going to be the starting kickoff returner week 1, which I don't have a problem with. So I think those are the 5. Practice squad, I got Cody Schrader. So if we would have done this roster perhaps a week ago, I would have had Isaac Guerrero on IR, and I would have had Cody Schrader in that 5th spot. What a difference a week makes. And people say, like, oh, week 3 of the preseason, who cares? Dude, it just changed the trajectory of these 2 players' lives, financially and football career-wise. So I've got Guerrero making it, and I've got Cody Schrader as the practice squad guy if we can get him back. He put out some good tape. No doubt about that. Now, every year at this time, it's the international trade Elijah Mitchell time. I just don't see it. One, who's going to trade for him? Like, what are you going to get? A 7th-round pick? A 6th-round pick? Maybe. Is he even healthy enough to trade? He's close to returning, but not quite. Could he pass a physical for another team with his hamstring issue? I don't know. Plus, we've seen Mason hip soreness. Guerrero's been hurt his entire college career. Cody Schrader. So, like, yeah, if somebody came out and offered us a 5th-round pick for for Elijah Mitchell, I'm taking it. But I just don't see that because other teams have to go through this as well. The Cowboys, maybe, with the worst running back team in the world. That's take that for what it is. Let's go to wide receivers. It's going to get weird. Let's get weird. Last year, 49ers kept 6 wide receivers. Previous year, 5. This year, Ayuk. Yes, I have Ayuk on the roster. Debo, Jennings, Jacob Cowing, Pearsall, who I think is going to make it, and then Chris Conley. Those are my 6. So I have them keep it 6. And the only reason why I have them keep it 6 is because Pearsall's banged up, but supposed to return this week. It's been 3 weeks in a row we've heard that. Ayuk, I do expect to play week 1, but if Ayuk's not 100%, hasn't gotten out there in practice, that's why I reported the Jamar Chase thing. Hopefully Ayuk follows suit and actually gets out there and practices. He's scheduled to make $14.1 million guaranteed this year. At least go through some of the drills. Conley's the backup. If Ayuk's going to do like, I'm going to sit out the first couple of games, Conley's out there in wide receiver 3 sets. Could you cut Conley and get him back on the practice squad? Maybe. But is that worth not having your starter, like in 3 wide receiver sets out there? Plus, he's just one of the best special teams players we have. Plus, he plays all 3 wide receiver spots and has in games over the past 3 years. He's just the ultimate professional. It doesn't cost a lot either, so that helps. So I've got us keeping 6. If you wanted to drop one of those, that's one thing. Now, compliments of the great Juan Salas. Here is Kyle Shanahan's recent remarks on the rookie first-round pick, Ricky Pearsall, on if he's going to be back soon.
I hope so. We'll see how he is this week. Hoping to get back into practice this week, and if he does, then that's a pretty good sign that he could be available for them. He subluxed his shoulder. I don't play doctor either, so that's what it is. You can look it up. I would tell you if I knew the definition of it, but he did it in college. I think his junior year. About 50% of the people coming out of college do that. that really wasn't the problem. He did it in OTAs for the first time with us, and when you do that, it's tender. And then he redid it here a couple weeks ago, and it makes it tender. So you want to give him time to come back from it.
Not great. Not great, Bob. Bad, in fact. And probably the biggest disappointment of camp has been Ricky Pearsall, just because he can't be out there. Practice couple days, half days. And, you like the idea that he's trying to push it. They did the blue non-contact jersey, all that stuff, and he still got injured. That's bad. The good news is you kept everybody. So you got Ayuk, you got Jennings, you got Debo. That's huge. Now, my practice squad guys, I've got Tay Martin over Ronnie Bell and a couple of those other guys because, one, he plays everything, and he's a positive on special teams. And I think, to be honest with you, I could see Tay Martin being elevated if they feel comfortable about the punt return position. Trent Taylor, I got on the practice squad. Again, you could elevate him. And the question, that last spot, I think 2 wide receivers on the practice squad, Robbie Chosen. If you feel comfortable with Jacob Cowing returning punts, I'd take Robbie Chosen over Trent Taylor. The only reason why I would have Trent Taylor making the practice squad is 100% punt return only. That's it. So I cannot find, and this, I hate this. This is the worst part about this. Ed, yeah, there's Ronnie Bell. It's finally over. Yeah, I do not have him making the practice squad or the roster. I just don't see it. The mental makeup, the lack of physical skills. He's had a better training camp than Trent Taylor, than Tay Martin, than Robbie Chosen. He's had better training camp than all of them. But in the preseason games, he looked like what he did last year. Bad body language, drops, just not there. Just not there. So I don't have him making it. So you can take that for what you will. Josh says, but do they cut Conley and squeeze him on the practice squad and elevate him? Now, Conley is a vet. He doesn't go on waivers. If you've had previous, I think it's 4 years. I think it's 4 or 6 years. I need to look this up. Vets qualify for waivers, NFL. Because if you've had a certain amount of years, yeah, players with less than 4 years, non-vested veterans, that's a fun little tongue tie, they go on waivers. Waivers means a team can claim you. You don't have a say-so. If they cut Ronnie Bell, less than 4 years, and the Browns pick him up, he has to go there. He has no say-so, right? But if you have more than 4 years, you get to pick. So if we cut Chris Conley and the Browns say, hey, we want you on our team, Chris Conley could be like, nah, bro, I don't want anything to do with that. This is the Shanahan Gentleman's Agreement. Shout out 1908, Japan and U.S. relations. Horrible deal. But anyway, sorry. The U.S. history teacher comes out sometimes. But Gentleman's Agreement deal is like, look, we're going to waive you, Chris Conley, but we're guaranteed to pick you up on our practice squad and elevate you on our 53-man. Just be patient with us. And that would be negotiated beforehand. I don't think that that's allowed by NFL standards, but Shanahan definitely operates within the gray line of NFL ethics, roster ethics, however you want to say that. It's just what it is. So could a deal like that be in place, Josh? 100%. We used to do it with Dwelly. I think we've done it with Kerry Hyder Jr. So once those players get past those 4 vested years, then they get a pick where they go. So yeah, there could definitely be some shenanigans in mode there. But for me, I'm not playing that role. Like Conley has earned to make it as the number 5 or 4. Again, if you're doing the depth chart, it's Ayuk, it's Debo, it's Jennings, it's Conley. Like he's way ahead of, Jacob Cowing just as a wide receiver. He's way ahead of Pearsall, obviously, as a receiver, plus special teams, plus vet, plus just the perfect mindset. All right, so there's our wide receivers. Let's go to tight ends. Last year, 49ers kept 4. The previous year, 2022, they kept 3. I've got us keeping Kittle, Eric Saubert, Braden Willis, who didn't have his best game for sure, and Jake Tonjes. Those are my 4. Now, Tonjes is on the bubble. This is where I think Shanahan will differ from me. I think he'd keep Cameron Latu, who had his best preseason game. Still god-awful blocker. Terrible, terrible, terrible. Has no clue where the running play is ever. You go watch the touchdown play, Patrick Taylor Jr. He literally blocks his guy purposefully into the running back because he didn't know the play. Yeah, he has improved. Cameron Latu has improved consistently. Yes, he had a good receiving game and showed out. That's great. He's just not he's just not there. So do you do another IR year? Do you put him on the practice squad? He probably ain't coming back. If you cut him, I don't think he's coming back. Go play for a non-physical tight end team. Go to the Chiefs. Go to another team where you could just do routes, which would be better for him, much less complicated. The illegal formations, it just doesn't work. It just doesn't work. It just doesn't work. But will he make this roster? It's a coin flip. Jake Tonjes is 100% better than he is in every facet of every way. Braden Willis, I think they like Jake Tonjes as the fullback more than Braden Willis. He continues to show that lead ISO play. He ain't got the sand in his pants to do that. It's just not him. But I do think Braden Willis is a much better football player than Tonjes and Latu. So the four I've got, Kittle, Saubert, Braden Willis, Jake Tonjes. This one I could see him keeping 3 if they want to keep back and sandbag a position. Cameron Latu could be that 4th. He's a liability on every play that's not a pass. And then on the pass plays, you got to worry about drops. You got to worry about fumbles. You got to worry about not adjusting to the ball. Just he's a 7-on-7 football player. That's just what he is. Maybe that changes. But the film says this dude ain't it. And even whenever he goes out there and thrives with the catches and the targets and can play against zone, I don't know. We've given up on third-round picks that have looked much better than this. No doubt about it. So, again, I'm keeping Willis and Tonjes. The Niners need help. This roster is not set. Even after the initial 53, it's not going to be set. And I think the offensive line will kind of, call that. Because here's what I got. We're keeping Trent. We're keeping Banks. We're keeping Brindle. Keeping Dominique Pooney. Keeping McKivitz. That's 5 guaranteed locks. No questions asked. Okay, 6. I got Jalen Moore as our swing tackle. All the tackles have been terrible. It's just what it's going to be. It's the 49ers way. Spencer Burford. I got him keeping him. Then our 2 bubble guys. I got Nick Zakelj. I'm so proud of him. And Jared Kingston, the rookie. I think that he has proven the upside is there. Zakelj gives you that backup center / guard, whatever. And the 49ers kind of got lucky because the new IR rules, you can have 2 guys designated to return from IR before the 53-man. In the past, you'd have to make the 53, then cut them. But John Feliciano, he's my one of 2 IR to return designations. So in the past, you would have had to cut Jared Kingston to keep John Feliciano, then move John Feliciano to IR and try to get back Jared Kingston. You don't have to do that now. So it's the initial 53, right? That's correctly termed, but it's really 55. You add in Pup, 49ers going to get 56, which I ain't mad at. So, yeah, it's the initial 53, but the 49ers are going to be keeping 56 players guaranteed on their roster just when we get them back. Now, if you're on the IR to return, you have to miss the first 4 weeks. John Feliciano will be coming back probably week 6, 7, 8 would be my assumption. But again, a lot of that depends on how the people ahead of him play. John Feliciano's capped out. He's a vet. He's played for a lot of teams. I think he has 4,000 plus career snaps. He's played some ball. So if you look at that, and again, Zakelj, he's your center left guard. You've got Spencer Burford. He's your guaranteed right guard. And then Jared Kingston, he's probably going to be a healthy scratch, but you want to keep him for development because, again, you look at this roster, Banks, last year of his deal. Feliciano, last year of his deal. You're losing 2 of those guards. You're hoping Dominique Pooney, Jared Kingston, Spencer Burford can handle that guard spot next year. Well, how do you guarantee that? You protect Jared Kingston. Put up good tape. Let's just be real. Put up great tape. So that's my 9 with IR, John Feliciano to come back. So really 10 practice squad. Drake Nugent, man. Whew. I love this dude. I don't think there's a chance he makes the 53. I do think that there's a chance in 2 to 3 years he could be fighting for that center role, probably backup center next year. But I mean, he's on the career trajectory that is paved by Jake Brindle. That's his path. That's his body type. He's, I think he could be better. He's got a higher ceiling, but a practice squad guy, wasn't drafted. So I think you get him back. The vet practice squad would be Braden Parker, one of my 6. No tackles have been good. Chris Hubbard's been terrible. Gutierrez has been better. Sebastian Gutierrez has been better, but they've been playing him at guard mostly. And probably my biggest surprise, and the first one that's not on my practice squad, not on my 53 man, Ben Barch. And he also, I don't have him making it at all, which is crazy. You asked me 3 weeks ago before the preseason games and Zakel started balling out. I'm putting Ben Barch in Zakel spots, like flipping those guys. Zakel showed he belongs. He really did. Pass blocking, still a mess, but he is a stud run blocker that can play center and guard. And he's smart as hell, and he used to be Brock Purdy's roommate. And I know that's a joke, but it does matter. It does matter. So I've got Ben Barch. He's the largest guaranteed money cut casualty on this roster. 300,000, not a lot, but still, that's gone off the cap. So we'll see. Ben Barch is my biggest. I was surprised isn't making this because they love that dude. They love that dude.